Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about AWS VPC pairing. As you guys know, a VPC is a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud where you can launch AWS resources like EC2 instances or relational database and so on. So VPC pairing enable us to connect VPC in the same AWS region or even in different regions using private IP addresses without the need for internet gateway, VPN, or other hardware. So is establish a private and secure connection between the VPC, allowing them to communicate as if they were in the same network. Here are some key points about VPC pairing. The first key point is that private connectivity. That means VPC pairing provides private connectivity, so traffic between paired VPC stays within the AWS network. The second point is that non-transitive. That means VPC pairing is non-transitive, meaning that if VPC A is paired with VPC B and VPC B is paired with VPC C, VPC A and VPC C do not automatically have a pairing relationship. And another important key point is that IP addresses range or the seeder blocks of the paired VPCs must not overlap. This is a good example of VPC pairing. We have a VPC A having some subnet, and in those subnets we have some EC2 instances, and we have VPC B having some subnets, and we have some instance in those subnets. And in order for VPC A to communicate with VPC B, we need a VPC pairing connection. So that is what we're going to do next. We're going to create VPC A in US East 2 region, and we're going to create VPC B in US East 1 region, and we're going to connect them, and we're going to create some EC2 instance and make sure that those EC2 instances are able to talk to each other. So let's jump on it. So the first thing we're going to do is to go to our AWS console and make sure that we are on US East 2 region. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on VPC. Then I'm going to click on create VPC. I'm going to check VPC only. I'm going to name it VPC -A, and I'm going to give it a IP version 4 seeder. It's going to be 192.168.0.0/16. And the tenancy going to say the default one. So I'm going to click on create VPC. Now I do have my VPC. The next thing I'm going to do is to create my internet gateway. I'm going to click on internet gateways. And I'm going to click on create internet gateway. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it internet gateway -A. And I'm going to click on create internet gateway. The next thing I'm going to do is to attach my internet gateway to my VPC. So I'm going to click on attach, then I'm going to come over here and you're going to see available VPC. I'm going to select my VPC A, and I'm going to attach internet gateway. The next thing to do is to create my subnet. I'm going to click on subnet, and I'm going to click on create subnet. and I'm going to select my VPC ID. It's going to be for my VPC A. Then I'm going to call it subnet-A. Then for the IP range, I'm going to put 192.168.1.0/24 this time. And I'm going to click on create subnet. After creating a subnet, I'm going to jump to security group. And I'm going to click on, under security, I'm going to click on security groups. Then I'm going to click on create security group. I'm going to name it security GP for A. And I'm going to give it a description SGA. Make sure that you uncheck this one because this is going to give you almost always the default VPC, but we don't want to use the default one since we created the VPC A already. So uncheck it and select the VPC A. As inbound rule, we're going to keep it very simple. I'm going to put all traffic from anywhere, and the outbound rule is going to be all traffic anywhere as well. And I'm going to click on create security group. Now I do have my security group. The next thing I'm going to do is to go over services, and I'm going to click on EC2. Then I'm going to launch an instance. I'm going to call it EC2-A. We're going to keep it simple and we're going to use all the default one. The key pair will be my key pair. If you don't have one, click over here and create a new key pair. Here is where it is very, very important. On the network settings, we need to edit the network, and it's going to give you the default VPC. Select the VPC A and select the proper subnet. That's going to be subnet A, and we want to be able to remotely SSH to this EC2 instance. So we're going to enable public IP addresses. As firewall rule or security group, we're going to click on select existing security group, and we're going to check security group A. And that's it for everything we need to add. You can add more storage if you want, but I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to launch my instance. The instance is going to take a little bit of time to get launched, so I'm going to pause the video and come back when it is launched. Let's see if the instance is launched. It looks like it is up and running, but in order for us to be able to SSH to this instance, we need to do one more thing. We need to go back to services and we go back to VPC. And we're going to add a new route. And we're going to click on route table. We're going to look the default route for VPC A, and we're going to click on route table ID. What we're going to do is that we're going to add a new route. So on the routes, we're going to click on edit routes, and we're going to add a new route. The new route going to be, the destination going to be internet. When we want to go to internet, we have to go through the internet gateway that we created earlier. We select the one we created earlier and we click on save. Now we need to tell our route what subnet can use that route to go to internet. So we're going to go on subnet association, And we're going to click on Edit Subnet Association. And we're going to check our subnet. And we're going to save associations. So with this, we are good. I can go back to my instance, click on Instance ID, then click on Connect. Then I'm going to copy this one. Make sure that you are on the SSH client. And the next thing is I'm going to open my terminal. I'm going to bring it wire. I'm going to make it bigger. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Make sure that you cd in the directory having your key pair. So I'm going to cd there, and I'm going to make sure that I have my key pair there. Then I can paste this one and press enter. I'm going to say yes. I'm logged in. That is good. Now we're going to do the same thing on US East 1. We're going to create a VPC B over there and some resources over there. And we're going to see if they're able to connect without a VPC pairing connection. So let's jump back to the console. And I open a new window over here. And you guys going to see that we are on US East 1. So I'm going to go and click on VPC. I'm going to click on your VPCs. And I'm going to click on Create VPC. Over here, I'm going to call it VPC. Call B. And to make sure that my IP address are not overlapping, I'm going to use that 10.0.0.0/16. And I'm going to leave the rest the same and click on Create VPC. The next thing I'm going to do is to create a subnet. So I'm going to go to subnet. Then I'm going to click on Create Subnet. I'm going to select my VPC ID. That's going to be VPC B-B. I'm going to call it subnet-B. And I'm going to use 10.0.1.0/24 this time. And I'm going to click on Create Subnet. The next thing I'm going to do is to create a security group. And as I said, we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to go under security and I'm going to click on security groups. And I'm going to click on create security group. I'm going to call it security GP. GP B. And I'm going to do SG for B. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to uncheck this one and select the proper VPC. As the inbound rules, I'm just going to allow all traffics from any IP version 4. And I click on Create Security Group. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to go to Services and EC2. So we're going to create the EC2 instance on US East 1 on the VPC B. I'm going to launch the instance. I'm going to call it EC2-B. The AMI going to stay the same. The instance type going to stay the same. I'm not going to use one of them. I'm going to use the EBB01. You can use whatever you want. And if you don't have one, you can click on Create a new key pair wire. So for the network setting, I'm going to edit it. So I'm going to click on Edit. I'm going to select the proper VPC. They're going to be VPC B. The proper subnet, and let's make it not accessible from public IP address. And we're going to select the existing security group. and we're going to select our security group. The rest can stay the same. And let's launch it. I'm going to get back when it is done launching this EC2 instance. So I'm going to pause the video. Let's check if it is done launching. The status check said initialization, but it is running. That is fine. Let's wait a little bit. I'm going to pause the video again. Then we're going to come back when the health check start is going to be running and fine. Okay, the status check is good. It's fine. It says check passed. So we are good. Let's go back to our terminal and let's ping our new instance. And to have the IP address of our new instance on US East 1, we're going to check it and we're going to copy over here the private IP address. And I'm going to go to my terminal and I'm going to try to ping it. Ping. And I'm going to paste it. Let me make it a little bit bigger. And let me clear everything. So I'm going to try to ping it. And you guys going to say nothing going to happen. Because it's not able to reach 10.0.1.198. Because it doesn't know our instance in US East 2 doesn't know where to go. So we need to create a VPC pairing connection first. So let's jump back to our terminal. And I'm going to be on US East 1. What I'm going to do is to create a VPC pairing connection. And I'm going to go under services and I'm going to click on VPC. And on the virtual private cloud, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and you're going to see pairing connection. And I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to click on create pairing connection. I'm going to name it pairing A hyphen A hyphen B. And it's going to be from my VPC ID. That's going to be the VPC ID of VPC B. And the region, the account, going to stay the same. And I'm going to change the region. You can use it for the same region or for another region. Since I'm using US East 2, it's going to be another region. So I'm going to click to another region. And it's going to be US East 2, right here, US East 2. So it is requesting a VPC ID of VPC A. So what I'm going to do is to go back to VPC A in US East 2 region. And I'm going to click on your VPCs. And I'm going to check my VPC, VPC A. And I'm going to copy this one, the VPC ID. Then I'm going to come right here on US East 1. And I'm going to paste it right here. Then I'm going to click on create pairing connection. This is created, and if I click on pairing connection, you're going to see that the status says pending acceptance. That means that if our VPC in US East 1 is requesting a VPC pairing connection with VPC A in US East 2. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to US East 2 and we're going to make sure that your services and you click on VPCs. I'm right there right now. And I'm going to go on pairing connections. I'm going to see a new request coming from the other VPC, right? So I'm going to check over here and I'm going to go to actions, and I'm going to click on accept request, and I'm going to accept the request. And you guys going to see that it's going to say provisioning. And if I come over here and I refresh this, you guys going to say it says active. Now I do have a pairing connection between VPC A in region US East 1, US East 2, and VPC B in US East 1 region. So our VPC pairing connection, it is done. We're going to go one more step, and we're going to create a route table between our two VPCs. We are on US East 1 region, so it's going to be this one going to be VPC B. So I'm going to go to route tables, and I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right VPC default route table. And I'm going to click on route table ID, and I'm going to add a new route. I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to put the CEDAR of VPC A, that is in US East 2. It's going to be 192.168.0.0/16. And I'm going to say that any IP address in this range, if VPC if VPC B want to connect with anything on VPC B, it needs to go to pairing connection, and I'm going to select my pairing connection. That's going to be pairing -B -A-B, sorry. And I'm going to save it. We already have our route association right here, but we need to explicitly put it right here. So we're going to come on edit subnet association, and we're going to put subnet B and save the association. So we are good. We're going to do the same thing on US East 2. So the pairing is active, as you guys can see. We're going to go to route table, and we're going to select our VPC. We're going to click on route table ID, and we're going to add another route. The other route going to be 10.0.0.0/16. When we want to reach something in this IP range, we need to go through or to the pairing connection, and we're going to select our pairing connection, and I'm going to click on save change. For the subnet association, we already have it over here, so we are fine. So now I think it is time for us to ping our resource again. Let's go back to the terminal, and as you can see, we are able to ping now. It's able to ping now. Let me stop it and start it again, clear it and start it again. You guys see we are able to ping the resource on VPC B on US East 1 from VPC A on US East 2, as you guys can see. So this is how we do a VPC pairing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Bye bye.